Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to the next block. We are on episode 120. We're here giving you another episode. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things have been going on this week. How you doing, Crypto for Change?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Waiting for, see how the rest of this week unfolds. It seems like some good things could be heading crypto's way, but there's still a lot of unknowns out there. I've pulled a few tweets that I've seen over the past couple of days, and we've had some big news dropping. I think one of the biggest things this week has been the Fed's decision to cut, and obviously how much they cut with rates. That's only happened, at times when recessions were looming. I guess the only caveat to that was when they cut during COVID, but that was obviously a whole different story. So,
COVID,
nonetheless,
right?
it's going to be an interesting into 2024 and beginning to 2025. I feel like, but outside of that, things are good. Bitcoin's looking bullish in ways. Alts are looking like they've bottomed out. Maybe they're ready to start making their playing catch up to Bitcoin. But we'll see. What are you seeing out there?
Same thing. Like I've been following Bitcoin closely recently, right? And every time Bitcoin is above 60,000, we have a lot of positivity and sentiment in the market. Then I've been watching Ethereum as well. Ethereum hasn't been as bullish as Bitcoin, unfortunately. So we need ETH to get up on there. And we'll talk a little bit about token for 2049 with Vitalik over there. He's trying
Yeah,
to
he's
use the
he's
magic.
making movies. He's
Yeah.
singing. Yeah, everything.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm liking what Bitcoin is looking like, and yeah, so it's looking good. Let's start with a little bit of the rate cuts here. I'm just gonna post a couple things up. So, as you said, the 50 basis points right here, and I'm watching the stocks this morning as well, and the stocks was popping off, which is positive because once all this is happening, kind of the money seems to be flowing into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin flows into everything else. So you got a couple percentagers up here. What's your take on any more rate cuts happening?
I mean, I didn't watch Powell speak. I feel like that's way more important than sometimes what they're doing is like his
Yeah.
tone and whatnot. So I'd have to go back and watch that. But I will say from what I've seen, it's very interesting coming from the standpoint of the last times that they've done cuts this big have been 2001. Obviously, there was the recession.com bubble, 2007. Obviously, there was a recession, housing crisis. Now, you did have it in, I believe it was like 2018, maybe, or obviously it was 2020 during the COVID scare. But that was
Mhm.
more of a reactionary. Like COVID happened, and then they were like, "Oh shoot, we need
Yeah.
to make money easier to get and stuff like that." So they cut rates there. But now you have it like there's a lot of data out there showing that the unemployment numbers showing just a lot of things in the housing market as far as delinquencies and stuff are at or near all-time highs like it was during the housing crisis. Obviously you have stocks that are at levels like they were back when '01. So, and I've told many people this, I feel like the crash that we're going to get is going to be like everything. Like it's not just going to be a specific area of one side of the market that just gets hit hard. Like I feel like it's going to be a lot of things, but I honestly don't know if we're actually there yet. And I know that Jerome Powell, through a lot of what he said in the past, Fed meetings, has been, a soft landing. And it would be actually be kind of interesting if there actually is, in ways, a soft landing. They bring rates down, inflation continues to come down, and there is this like, maybe Goldilocks period where the market likes it, it's bullish. We see everything go to new all-time highs. Bitcoin runs crazy, alts run crazy, but we still know that, all the Fed is doing is just putting band-aids on the economy. Like the economy
Facts.
is rough. Like if you look around, I mean, most, I've seen many charts showing that like, young people, millennials and, people like 30s and under, their home ownership, right? It used to be like 50, 60%, of that age group was owning a home. And now it's like 30, 20%. People are moving back in with parents. People are, having to work multiple jobs to afford, basic necessities. So it's band-aids. And so that's where it's like this crash, this, it's going to come. It's just how much is the government going to prop this economy up with fake data or just money printing to keep the story going. And honestly, I think elections are going to be a really big tell of where they're going to move. I think, it could go either way if either of them gets elected. And so I don't know. It's a weird time. I was actually on the phone with my dad, and he was talking about it. He's a very, very big Trump supporter. So I am more in, I don't really like government at all. I don't really like either candidate. I think both of them are kind of whack in their own ways. But when he was like, talking about if Trump did get assassinated, like what would happen? He just like posed that question to me, and I was like, I honestly don't know. Like if he did actually get assassinated,
that'd be crazy.
It'd be bad. It would be. Like I really think that, that movie Civil War came out. I think you'd start seeing some crazy stuff happen. And so obviously don't hope for anything like that. I hope it's an easy election. I hope nothing weird happens. But seeing what we've already seen happen so far in this election cycle, like there's just part of me, it's like there's no way. There's no way it's going to be just a normal, easy, clear-cut winner, no issues, powers relinquished. Like it just seems
I think it's gonna be fraud. It's gonna be fraud on both sides. Like that's what it seems like.
And so
like sketchiness.
And here's something to tie in, just as a funny note is, I'm thinking like, all right, so what could the markets do, right? I'm thinking we could get, like I said, we're seeing a possibility that, Bitcoin's reacting bullish to the cuts, right? Maybe an extended Goldilocks period where into the elections we get a run up, right, of all assets and stuff like that. But right after the election, we get chop or down price action until the new president takes over, and maybe there's more stability and more like it's not as much tension and craziness going on. So. And I even put this date on your calendars, December 6th, right? I saw a tweet today. Ansem, which is the big Solana influencer, and BitBoy are going to be fighting. Last time we saw Ansem fight was like last time we saw him fight. It was literally it was the top 4 Solana meme coin. So honestly, that's right after the elections and stuff. I would not be surprised, end of November, beginning of December, we see some type of pullback from maybe the run if we get one right now leading into the elections.
Big Boy here to pump the market with a nice fight. Shout out to Big Boy.
he's gonna have a tough fight. I mean, Ansem's got a solid like 1.5 foot, it looks like, on him, like as far as height. So his reach. I mean, I know Bitcoin or BitBoy just came in swinging like
last time was crazy.
But I don't know. You do that too much, you're gonna catch a right hand or a left hand somewhere, and it's gonna knock you out. But
they know his fighting style now.
Yeah, I would put my money on Ansem if he actually tries. But I honestly, part of me thinks BitBoy, he's just crazy. Like even crazier. I'm pretty sure I just saw that he was on like Fox News or CNN talking about crypto, and I'm like, what world? But in my mind, it's like, if you follow this space, in what world does this man deserve to be back on national television telling anyone about what to do with money? Like he's literally being sued by the SEC still, right?
You know what? I think so. I know he's in some type of court situations going.
Yeah, it's
it's how the media, they want clicks. That they like. Okay,
I guess that's true
right there. Yeah, let's hit this real quick too before we get more into. I want to talk a little bit more about these politicians. And then Rex Boy, what's good? Welcome to the show. We'll get to Adam in 1 second. Let's see. So market caps right now, the total 2.8 trillion. That's looking good. Bitcoin right under 64,000, close to 65. I think it might have touched it today. But this is what I'm liking right here. That almost up 10% for the week, which is also dragging Ethereum up. This is looking real good for these two assets. Positive.
Yeah. And I'll even show one more thing that I saw from CRG on Twitter. You can bring that up as well if you want. So right here, you're looking at, let's see if it'll zoom in better. There we go. Like right there. So this is we have seen this progressive just Bitcoin moving up, but then getting rejected. Obviously, once it fell below that, the moving average there, that has been resistant. So right now we are sitting at that. And honestly, this would be a spot where if Bitcoin was to roll over, we're probably going to see that happen now. But if it gets above this area and reclaims that moving average, I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin shoot up and we start seeing new all-time highs up into the 70K range. And that's where we're at, right? There's just been so much that's happened this week to kind of, put Bitcoin to where it's at, but is there enough juice and liquidity in the markets to carry it forward? And so that's where I feel like we're just waiting. And in, to answer Rex Boy's comment about Atom, I mean, you can go back to the
let me pull it up. Yeah,
go back to the top 20 or top 100. I would say this: any of these altcoins, right? That's not Solana, that's not Ethereum, that's not really, that's it. I mean, it's literally, I don't even know where it's at, honestly, right now. But I would say any of these that are in the top 100 are, they're going to rise as Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana rise. Some will do better, right? Some may do worse, but I would not be banking on any of these taking the spotlight. And honestly, I think Ethereum has been so undervalued this entire run. I wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum takes more of a charge in the next push over something like Solana. It's still yet to be seen, but anything outside the top 5, it really just seems like you're going to have to wait until the major blow off for alts happens to get some of that big movement. And even then, I'd say be ready to take massive profits, because no telling what is going to happen to a lot of these layer 1s, layer 2s, all this stuff, once we see the big crash come through.
Yeah, because I agree with mostly that. It's mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum for me where the money has to focus on. But when we're talking about Cosmos, I've been a big fan of Cosmos. It hasn't performed the best in the last year, but of course the whole market hasn't. But we do got Cosmos, you got Chronos. These are all part of like the same technology ecosystem. That's the Coinbase or crypto.com. But one of my favorite now would be Injective, a little bit favored more than Cosmos. So that's what I would look at. If you, Rex Boy, if you're into Cosmos, I would check out Injective. In the last year, it has been doing really well, and it's more of a financial play there. It's doing fintech and, real world asset stuff. Obviously, the chart is a lot better. It's a younger crypto, but that's what I would look at. Cosmos is still cool, but ever since that stuff went down with like his founder talking about making Cosmos 1 and all this drama online, and even myself, I see like Cosmos hasn't delivered what I thought it would deliver. It's still kind of like a just their token, honestly. But overall, yeah. So I would like Injective to answer that question. Cosmos, I'm not too impressed right now.
And even piggybacking on your what you said there, like newer tokens, right, and newer chains, newer projects, I feel like they're more like appealing because most of them, right, not all, I'm not gonna say all of them, but most of them have watched what these other chains have done as far as tokenomics and stuff, and they've improved upon it. And so that's why you're seeing so many of these younger tokens passing a lot of these legacy chains, legacy projects, is because the tokenomics and the distribution and the momentum behind them are just way better. Now, not to say that there can't be a dark horse here or there, but literally you're playing, you're gambling at the roulette table, hoping to land on 00.
Yeah, and let's go back to these politicians real quick. So this one right here cracked me up. So I watched the video of Trump. He was using Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
yeah. But I was looking, I was like, you know what? Should he have used Bitcoin? Because when I was looking at it, he looked really confused. They literally took the phone out of his hand. Then they started clicking buttons and scanning. And some say he was using the Lightning network, which would make sense, or they would have probably been waiting for 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of funny. I think it's good publicity for him for that crypto community. But if you watch the debate, crypto wasn't brought up one time. They didn't even mention it. It wasn't even a topic of discussion. So I feel like this right here is like the team's like, hey man, we need to, just pump some media right now. And then the crypto bros over there was like, come to my bar, use this Bitcoin. So what you think?
I mean, one, I watched the video and pretty sure the transaction actually, like, people went and checked the transaction. It actually didn't settle it took a while for it to settle. But obviously, they were awkward and you're going to be nervous. You have the, future possible president standing there doing it. So I get the nervousness, but it really does just show how long we still have to go before people are actually using this stuff. And it's as easy as someone using their debit card, tap to pay, whatever it is that they currently do with their bank. But I do think
the Algo fan would have been like, you should have used Algorand.
Yeah, I know. They should have been like the Algorand Foundation and John Allen Woods, all those guys, they should have been tagging that video that the commercial
Yes.
they did on that one. But then again, it's not to say that there wouldn't be still a lot of hiccups with doing it with Algorand, right? It's with every chain. There's still barriers that need to be kicked down to make this easier for anyone and everyone. And that's still where we're at. I mean, there's still so much happening in this space. That you got to be leery of, and most people, especially someone Trump's age, right? Not saying Trump himself, but I've seen a lot of people saying like, hey, my parents or my grandparents, they're interested in the yield, they're interested in the DeFi, but the thing they're worried about is the user experience and the ability to keep their funds safe. And that's the stuff, right? That is a huge fear. And I even have this one I can pull up real quick. Let me show this article thing I saw by Zach XBT on Twitter. So this was a tweet that he put out showing an investigation into how some of these guys, social engineered and stole 243 million. And if you actually go into the thread, you can read a lot about how they stole it. There obviously a lot of the funds are seized, and most of those people that are involved are in jail or arrested now. But you can actually see they got the video of them all in a Discord when the funds actually hit, and like they're all geeking out, right? These people
were
like
hyped, huh?
Yeah, they were. But then and then you can even go further and you could see how they were all just
lawyers.
The following months just spending it on 10 cars and just blowing it. And it really just shows how bad this space still is, with the fact that that people are putting, getting 243 million stolen, right? Social engineered. So, I get why people don't want to trust this space. Yeah. But, you also have to realize that if you start to make it big, because it's the blockchain, your information is easily traced. They can follow you, and they can find out what dApps you interact with. And by then they can be like, hey, we can just make a really sophisticated email showing that, hey, coming from, say, Moonwell, right? You're into Moonwell, and they could say, hey, we're, Moonwell security team. We realize that, someone is, getting into your account. We want to protect your account. And you can, like I say, you can go read that thread, and they seem very sophisticated, but then you see the video of them getting the money, and you realize it's just a bunch of kids just really smart with, the internet, whereas others are not as confident. And that's still a big issue. And so that's the reason why most people, if they buy it, they're just holding it. They're not really doing much with it. And we're still super, super early as far as that goes.
We still early here to go for the Democrat people who like crypto. So they're saying Kamala Harris is accepting crypto, right? So Trump is using it, Kamala, but it's really her super PAC, right? That her super PAC is taking the money, then they rerouting it to her. But I think this picture, along with these type of stories, is the same thing we said about Trump. It's a play just, for attention, to get
and money.
Voting block.
Money.
Yeah, and money. Yeah, that's all it's about.
They'll take money any way they can to try to win, and promise each side anything they can to try to win. But that's what I'm saying. It's going to be very interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, to see the market as we go into elections run hot. But then I think once elections happen and the immediate, the time after that, I just think is going to be so volatile that that'd probably be a time to start taking some profits leading into that, especially because you got to think the holidays are coming around. A lot of people don't, they're not worried about investing and stuff. They're buying presents and stuff and getting ready for travel. So honestly, I could easily see, the end of September, October, almost all of November being a bullish scenario for, the rest. And I'll say this, if you go look at, I don't have it pulled up immediately, I don't know if you want to search it, but if you look at the monthly chart of Bitcoin's price appreciation, right? Anytime Bitcoin has had a even neutral or green September, October, November, and December have all been green. So that is something to keep in mind, as we get close to the end of September, because right now September is a bullish month, green. So that is something to keep in mind. And we could see, everything just kind of take off leading into this election cycle. It's also really fun.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's also not a crypto really related thing. Well, it is crypto related, but more the election stuff. But I saw that for any of you people who play fantasy, if you got Derek Carr on your team, you're probably looking pretty good, because for some reason every single presidential year he has had his best seasons ever. And right now the Saints are the hottest team in the NFL. And he's got like,
What?
he's got insane amount of yards through the first 2 games. And like I got wrecked by what's his name, the running back from the Saints, Kamara. Alvin Kamara, I got wrecked by him last week. He got like 3 touchdowns and like some crazy amount of yardage. But yeah, that's a wild thing. I'm saying when the elections,
the Saints, they gonna win the Super Bowl.
I don't know if they'd win the Super Bowl, but I bet I'm just saying Derek Carr, like the quarterback. Every team he's been with, when there's an election year, he's just played phenomenal. So if you got Derek Carr, or Kamara, or anybody, I have Olave on the Saints.
That's
but
interesting.
He ain't doing nothing. Carr ain't throwing to him apparently.
Okay, that's very interesting. Make sure y'all follow Carr then if you're trying to get you some money out the football. So let's talk a little macro. They got token 49 that's been popping off, and this is where this is an Iggy Azalea video right here. She out there promoting meme coins and whatnot, so much respect for them. She doing her thing with crypto. I'm not sure if she's honest with it or if she just on the hype, but maybe she really is a DJ, who knows. But she there. But then the funny video was Vitalik, if it can pop up, him singing. He's singing an anthem, and I think he was also singing in Japanese as well, which I thought was hilarious. Is this it?
No. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I tweeted it on there. Wait, I could go to it. Let me see. But anyways, it was funny, and he, singing his song, trying to pump Ethereum, I would say. But Vitalik is a funny dude. He's always basically at every event. It makes sense because he's the founder of Ethereum. He's the OG, still really young as well, which is very impressive. But they were saying they need to. A funny tweet was like, we need to get at Vitalik's girlfriend and put her under check.
I'll say this, as far as Ethereum goes, I'm not really buying things on ETH layer 1. The only thing I'm still betting on and putting most of my money in is ETH layer 2 base. I see Moonwell, I see Aerodrome. There is a meme coin brand being built called Higher on Warpcast that I'm still bullish on. And even I was going to show one thing, if anybody in the chat is bullish on Higher and still holding a special announcement, Base Colors, which is another NFT project, acquired 1 million Higher. So that's I think it's like 0.01 of the supply, 0.1 of the Higher supply. And there's been a lot of, buzz still generated. And I'll say this, I have stayed on Warpcast. I know a lot of people left after the March kind of high of base and everything. But I stayed there, and I'll say this, out of all the channels, right, most of the traffic has gone down considerably. Higher has been one of the ones that has sprouted not only Higher FM, which is now a radio podcast thing that's going live and has been doing numbers in various countries, but also they've done Higher Athletics, so they're still sponsoring athletes, trying that. They have a soccer team that has Higher as a sponsor on the jersey, cool looking Higher, looking jersey. So they are still building.
They need to sponsor the next block then. Higher, right, where you at?
Yeah, I'm just saying this. They are making the right moves, and I would not be surprised to see this token, because I'd say this, on base, right, the number one token that most people got excited about was DGen, right? That was the one that took off and really... I
haven't heard much about it lately.
Right. It's obviously most everything died down, but I would say in the next big run up, DGen's going to be obviously the one that, people know of and are probably still holding. So it'll do well. Outside of that, I think Higher is probably the number 2. If you're talking about memes that actually could, entice people with a mission and a core community behind it. Like a lot of other things are just memes because they're memes. And yes, there might be a winner here.
Think about Brett. I see Brett. Like I think hit $1 billion market cap or something like that.
Yeah. Brett is the same thing as Whiff, maybe not even Whiff. I would say Brett is more engineered than Whiff was. I think Whiff was actually more organic in ways. Brett is 100,000% the biggest paid shills on base, propping that meme coin up. So if you want to join, I'm not saying it's not going to go higher. I would almost bet that when the whole meme cycle does continue to run, I do think Brett will still probably be one of the largest. But I'll say this, it's already so high. It's like, how much higher is it really going to go
Yeah, if
when
it would be like
it's going to be
like
attached to Pepe. So
2
it's like if,
billion almost or something.
yeah, so if Pepe obviously goes crazy, Brett, there's a good chance. But I'm talking like actual, like, you don't just want to throw money towards a meme coin that's being, pumped by the biggest shills. So higher is a very small market cap. That's why I think there could still be, it could still have a 10, 20, 30, 50x in it.
Mm.
And that's what
Okay.
we're looking for.
Let me go to this. Look, this is about some mass adoption stuff. I put a poll up. Put that on the screen. And it was basically, and we know it's a little bias on here, but which blockchain is best for mass adoption? Our crowd here says Algorand, but then some people did say Base. I think that's a pretty good split, honestly, between the two. And then I wanted to jump over to here and talk about right now. I think both of them are great. That's a trick question, y'all. But Coinbase and Algorand, because right now you see they got the Coinbase Quest going on. This is a tab of X market when they're having people claim their NFTs. It's like a collaboration with Mel Gold. We know Mel Gold. Shout out to Michael Cotton over there. So that's popping off. But then at the same time, shout out to Alex France over here. This was big. I've been watching people talk about the stable coins. And Algorand has increased a lot over the last month, but you see chains like Stellar and Near, their stable coins have been sucked over. Some say because they're getting sent over to Algorand, but who knows? But something is cooking, I'm thinking, right? And then I'm moving a little fast, but this one right here. Then we got Moonwell. You were just talking about Moonwell. It's one of my favorite. I definitely be using Moonwell on base for sure. We gotta get Luke back on the show, but Coin or Moonwell has got the USDC popping over there, and they also dropped a Euro coin.
Yep.
And I think
look
that
at
right
that.
there is it's crazy.
If you want to do Coinbase Duck, it's let me see if I can find his Twitter thing. Dang it, it's gonna be hard because Twitter never makes it easy to find.
No.
Here we go.
But that Euro on there is popping, and I've been following Jesse's tweets over there. Is he the founder of Base? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay. The founder of Base. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah. Let me show you this. If you want to, if you're into Moonwell, don't really know what to do with your funds, right? This is I like this guy. I like what he tweets about as far as Ethereum things. This is on Base. So low risk play would be to supply Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, right? So that's the new CBBTC, right? So buy it obviously on Coinbase or whatever, then supply it on Moonwell, borrow the euro, so the EURC, paying 3.4%, and then supply the euro to the Morpho Vault on Moonwell, earning 1,100% right now. For now, eventually go down, obviously, but eventually will be higher than 3.4, and you're at zero risk. So that's a great play right now, especially, and then you're only holding Bitcoin and the euro. So you're not holding, anything crazy, right? This isn't a play to get you to buy into a crappy altcoin that's getting 20,000%, but is going to get, go down 90%. You're holding Bitcoin, you're holding the euro, and you're able to farm those for some decent yield. So that's a great play if you're in Moonwell and you're looking to earn some juicy rewards.
Yep. And I think, like you said, the Bitcoin, because right now Aerodrome has like the biggest volume of Bitcoin right now on Base, or on, I guess, Bitcoin on Ethereum as a whole. And then you got, like you said, the Euro, which I'm really into the Euro, and the USDC. Those are the two strongest, currencies out of the Western part of the world. So it's definitely something I would pay attention to. Really like Moonwell. And if y'all haven't heard, go back to our last Moonwell interview. Luke was over there breaking some stuff down. And remember, he was talking about the Coinbase smart wallet. A lot of things that was happening came, it's live right now. Stuff he mentioned like 5-6 months ago. And then you got the big announcement was the Coinbase listing, which I don't know when it's going to happen, but the Coinbase assets page have listed that they're about to be listing Moonwell. And I think that's where we're getting some of that price pump right now. In the last,
and I'll say this:
30 days.
And Coinbase Ventures is also behind Moonwell, just like they were behind Aerodrome. And I'll say this: back when I was calling Aerodrome, you could have been buying it for 3.6 cents, right? When it was getting listed, and when it got listed, it immediately jumped up to like 12 cents, and then ran to 25 cents, ran all the way up to $2, and now it's sitting at like 60 cents, 70 cents, right? I think Moonwell has an easy run all the way up to at least I think, I mean, what's it at right now? I can't remember if it's at like under a
Like
penny.
3 cent. It's like around 3 cent now.
Yeah, let me go.
Yeah,
Let's
because
see
it
here.
pumped a lot
Let
recently.
me see. Well,
But why you looking? Hey, Guyver, what's good? He says, "How you guys doing? Thank you for asking. I'm doing good. Crypto Change, how you doing?"
doing good. So it's at 2 cents, almost 3 cents, but I easily see this one going to something like between 10, 25 cents on this next big run up. So that's another big play to get in early. And the thing is, if Base, like you're talking about real world adoption, right? Which chain's better, Algorand or Base, right? I think it's a trick question. Both of
It
them
is a trick question.
both of them are solid for their own reasons. But here's the thing: is like if you actually believe that Coinbase is going to be a major player in the crypto space in the next 5 years, then you have to think Base is going to be a big player in the DeFi space. And if that's true, why not already be having a position in some of the main DeFi protocols like Moonwell, like Aerodrome now early before the masses really catch on to them and they become the next Uniswap? Because that, right, anyone would have been like, oh, if I could go back and buy Uniswap sub $1 or sub, this, I would do it. You have, in my opinion, right, and it's not financial advice, but I think you have the option right now with Moonwell and with Aerodrome. And I even think Aerodrome maybe might be the better one of the two, even though it's already had that big run as far as just like longevity and like there's a lot more yield and opportunities. But I do think Moonwell is still growing at a fast clip, and it could, and it's more, maybe more risk, but I think also more
Yeah.
reward.
Well, I will also add too. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it, but Base Jess and them was promoting the payment infrastructure where they can get businesses that accept USDC. They used it for coffee. They was using it at the events around the same time Algorand was dropping his commercials. So you see two different type of use cases. But I think, like you said, with Coinbase, it's a really quick, smooth integration with any mainstream business. And if you want to go up in there, spend the euro or the USDC, that's an easy play on Base. But let's get to Jess or MacGyver 7 for real quick. Any thoughts on Real? I don't know what the Real ecosystem is. It's an IBC based atom. Okay. And algo based around RWAs and stable coins. Also, any plans for more compacts? Yeah, we'll definitely talk about compacts more. That was a great episode we had with them. You can get some good yields over there. We'll talk about that next show.
I feel like the same comment that Rex Boy said, kind of, with Adam's ecosystem, still same answer rings true. It's anything outside of Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. I mean, it's literally a crapshoot as far as like how much attention these ecosystems are going to get. Now, if it's a really new ecosystem and you can see a lot of fresh capital moving from legacy chains into them, then hey, it's probably a good shot that they're going to do well. Like you talked about with Algorand, all that USDC moving on chain.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's liquidity. That's bullish, but it's still yet to be seen if that's actually going to mean anything in the bull market as far as holding the token and price appreciation. So a lot of these I go where I think the attention's going to be, and that's why I'm sticking close to Base, because I know Coinbase, I know Brian Armstrong and Vitalik both recently talked very bullishly about Base. So I think this past bull run, really the biggest names pushing it was Jesse, the founder, obviously, and then obviously you had some Ethereum people who've been in the space for a while pushing it. We haven't really seen Brian Armstrong push Base and Vitalik really lean in and say, hey, go to let's get this thing going. So honestly, who knows? But that's why I think watch where the attention is going and be in those ecosystems earning DeFi and yield.
I want to add this right here. This is injective. If you look at the block times, even for the people in Algo, as we're big fans of Algo, but this is how quick injective is too. If you ever used it, the fees are almost zero, but look how fast these blocks are going.
Yeah, that's fast.
That block time is crazy. So I would go follow them on Twitter, try out, their infrastructures, their platforms. This is one that I would say definitely keep your eye on. Somebody on our channel was calling it at like, $5-7. And I got some of it, but now it's around 20, and this is on the low end right now. It went as high as $40-something, but this is like I said, the atom play. You can earn a nice yield here, but I just really like the way the speed and smoothness is on there. So once they start to get into the stable coin game, they're going to be a major player, in my opinion, because this thing is like all throughout Asia, right? So it's not just focused on like Europe or United States. I think focusing on Asia, Africa, and Europe is the better plays, in my opinion, for anything in crypto. So I like those chains that focus on them areas. But yeah, I definitely still think Base, though, especially for America, United States, Base is the chain to be watching, because I think they can get through with all the regulations.
Yeah, and like I said, they got, they have the, just like Bitcoin, right? What really broke Bitcoin out, is the fact that some of the largest corporations and some of the largest names started buying it and being behind it. And at the end of the day, that is what, the attention that they can get from that and the moves they can make behind the scenes sometimes can sway. And even if you're, a faster chain, a cheaper chain, more decentralized chain, all these things doesn't mean you're actually going to outperform some of these other chains.
No, not at all. So with that being said, if y'all got any other comments or questions, definitely put them in the chat. You got anything else, Crypto for Change?
Not really. Like I said, I'm just, be patient with this market. I think we're going to see a lot of volatility coming over the next few months leading into the elections. Be ready, I think, around the holidays to possibly look to take profit, right? And be getting out of some of these, as I think there's a good chance we trade sideways and whatnot into that, transfer of power. And then obviously, who knows what'll happen if either candidate wins, but I would expect some fireworks in 2025 as well. Just don't know if it'll come early or late.
For sure. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. This episode was brought to you by Non-Fungible Domains and Exit Market. Make sure y'all go check out those Coinbase Quest. Both of those platforms are participating. And at the same time, Exit Market is doing their rewards campaign with Coin List, so you can get you some exit tokens in the end of December if you participating. Go check out their Twitters, and then we will see y'all next week.
This is Examarket, the NFT marketplace where creators thrive and communities connect. You've probably heard of NFTs, but their potential goes far beyond what you might imagine. NFTs are more than cool profile pictures. They are part of the virtual world with real-world impact. Digital art, event tickets, virtual properties, and even in-game items. The possibilities are endless. What makes NFTs so special? Blockchain technology ensures authenticity, proof of ownership, and global reach. Buy, sell, or trade with anyone from anywhere. Upload, edit, launch. It's that simple. Examarket provides everything you need to create NFTs, manage collections, and track your revenue. It's not just a marketplace, it's your all-in-one creator studio. Whether it's auctions, fixed prices, or offers, Examarket designed the perfect tools to fit your needs, including nice features like commenting, airdropping NFTs, or swapping assets for free. You can even get verified and add your own token as a means of payment. New to NFTs? You can try out by logging in with your email address. Plus, our academy is here to guide you from signing up to making your first sale. And if you ever need assistance, we're always here to help. We think everyone deserves a piece of the digital revolution. And don't miss our rewards campaign. Earn exciting rewards and join a vibrant community of creators and collectors. This is Examarket, the NFT marketplace where creators thrive and communities connect.